Hey, welcome back to another exciting episode of Talk Productions. Today, I'm back up once again by Aaron. Long time no see, buddy.
I know.
He's brought us the Cooler from the new set, BT17, which is pretty awesome. We'll say this video comes up before our game, so he's played against me and he played against Fluff on camera. I'm not going to say when and where, but you'll see this video later on the road to kind of see how this deck performed, which is pretty cool. But Aaron, let's get into his deck profile.
Sure, man. So, Cooler, if you don't know what he does, just real quick, you can, on swing, you can pick up a life, and then you can either choose to draw, or you can play a Unison with a marker on it. And then once per turn, when a Unison leaves play and goes to your drop area, or no, actually, not when it leaves play, just when it goes to your drop area, that's relevant. You'll see it in some of the games. You draw a card, and then his awaken is, he's a hybrid. At 4 life, you awaken, so no secondary awaken skill, but at 4 life. And then on the back side, when he swings, you can either draw a card or play a Unison with a marker on it. And then he has the same once per turn when a Unison goes to the drop area, you can draw a card. And then he has a cool activate battle where you can actually combo off Unisons to give something 5k power. So that's the leader, really good. First thing we're going to go over are the Unisons, and there's a lot of them because it's the meat of this deck. So I ran 2 of the Demigra tonight. This is going to become a 4 of, and it's going to replace these 2 Dories here. But the Demigra is really good. It's a 1-drop Unison, which is really strong, especially on the leader swing. And then the fact that on the +1 he becomes a 15k, but really the reason why you run him is just because you can pick up life rather than lose markers. So you keep your Unison live. I think 4 of is a must for this card. I didn't see it enough tonight, and I wish I did. Really good. So it's going to be a 4 of. The next Unison is a 4 of. This is the Salsa. So this card is really strong. All of these are 1 cost, and they all have an Empower skill, so they all come in with at least 3 markers, and all of their abilities trigger on 3 markers. And so this guy, when he comes in, if he has 3 markers, you blow up something that costs 7 or less, so it's basically just a charismatic villain. And then his +1 is to get +5k, so he's a 15. So he is a staple. He's really strong. The next one is the Niaz or whatever. He is a counterattack. He also has Empower too. Whenever you counter with it and you play him, you can pick one of your opponent's cards, and they can't swing until the end of your opponent's next turn. So this is one of the better cards in the deck. He's a 10k on swing when you do the +2. That's also really relevant with this deck because of the Empower skill and everything. So definitely running him at a 4 of, really strong. This is, well, we'll do him last because he's special. This is the Frieza. So this is the Galactic Dynasty. So what he does, the same thing. He has Empower 3 when he comes in, but when he comes in, it's a limit 1, but if he comes in with at least 3 markers, your opponent has to drop a card. And that may not seem relevant, but the fact that when you're doing this so many times, because it's a 1-drop, and all of these are 1-drops as well, so 3 energy gets you a lot of Unison play, but he makes you drop a card, and then his +1 gains 10k, so he's a 20k 1-drop that makes you drop something. Really strong, really good all night long. And then this is the boss monster. So this is the Golden Frieza. So this card is insane. He is a counter attack. When you play him, if he has 3 markers, you pick all of your opponent's battle cards and you KO them. And then he has Empower 4, so he usually is going to come in with 7 counters. And then you can -4 to give him triple strike and +10k. And so he already has dual attack and blocker, and then at the end of the turn he readies, which is insane. So this is the main win con. Alright, so super combos. I'm running 2 of the Paragus and 2 of the Gohan. In the games you'll see 2 Android 18s, but the biggest problem with this deck is not drawing. And the reason why I like the Paragus is because at the end of a game, if you have 1 card in hand, you discard after you draw 2. So he's better at end of game, and he's just good all the time. So those are super combos. So the next card is the King Cold. So when you counter with him, he costs 1 less for each unison in your drop area. So he's a 2-drop, and then every time your opponent attacks after you counter with him, they have to drop a card. And there's a really specific reason why we run him instead of the Boo, and I'll show you that in a second. The next card is this 4-drop Cooler. He costs 1 less for each unison that you have in your drop as well. He's usually going to be a 1-drop, and he's a 20k double strike. And when he comes into play, you can take a 3-drop unison and put it at the bottom of your deck, and it makes your opponent drop a card as well. And then the other 4-drop we run is the Surprise Attack. It's just there's a lot of KO in this deck, and it's just crit. It's really good. So that's them, and then just a few other things. So we run 2 of the Zamasu, and we run 4 charismatics. So this turning into this, dropping a card indestructible, really strong. Don't need to really explain those cards. I did run 2 draw apes, or I didn't run 2 draw apes. They are replacing something that I used tonight. The deck needs draw, and it needs it badly. And where all of the unisons are a 1-drop, you can do this whenever you want. So I added those in. I think they're going to be really good. And then just a few tech options. Champa destroys, KO, and then or discard. The deck wants to do both of those. Really good card. Clones, it's clones. Shocking Death Ball, it's Shocking Death Ball. It's KOs, and then obviously we run 4 Dormants because it's green and this card is busted. But the reason why we run the King Cold as a 4-drop is because of Xenocell. And so the 4-drop Cooler, the 4-drop Surprise Attack, and the 4-drop King Cold are all basically free and happen on your opponent's turn. And then the 4-drop Cooler is just a cost 1, so this happens more often than you would think, and it rips cards and it wins games. So that is it.
Awesome. And yeah, it's good to see you again. And like always, read your cards in your plays and fluff out. I know I did that wrong, but whatever.